should be a share option. Hold on. Links here. All right. Where you want me to share it to you, or should I just post it in the?
Yeah, post it in the comments or whatever.
Facebook.
The YouTube link up.
Yeah, I posted it in the comments, so you can take it from there and do as you please.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, I'll just edit it and move the Twitch thing. Oh.
Hold a minute.
Hold up. Yo.
Yo.
Yeah, that's right. You saw the post in 758, right?
Let me check it out. No, I'm not sure. What happened? Martin has deleted it, man.
It seems so, eh?
I did not look, No,
because I know for sure I put it there. So it looks like that's what happened.
Real Facebook beef. All right, so I posted it again. I posted a YouTube link.
Okay. Because I can swear I did it. That's some real petty crap if that's what happened.
Oh yeah, I tell you. I posted.
Okay.
Alright.
758 gave a huff.
No, oh shit.
You can edit.
Let me edit it, yeah. And just one more thing. I think they usually have some controls for different sound settings and whatnot, like drum rolls and crickets and shit. So,
okay.
So I'm just looking to see if I see that, and we can start from there.
Yeah. Tell me if you see in my screen share. Just let me switch that to YouTube. Let me just see if the screen share is working. You seen it?
No.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing it when you talk and say something.
Oh, okay. So I have to be talking.
Yeah. It comes up when you say something.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess if I'm playing a video or something, it should come up.
It should come up, yeah. I suppose. Anything else that we need to showcase? Let me see. Is it in there? Zero Q&A. Um, okay, I think that may be an app because I'm seeing options to add apps to the Hangouts. But um, I think we're pretty much ready to roll.
Yeah, more
Um,
or less.
Seeing we have our first viewer, uh, or maybe that's one of us. I'm not sure.
Might be.
But may I do the honors of introducing everyone to the very first SLU Gamer Hub slash podcast E3 pre E3 discussion. Um, yeah, so should we take it away?
All right. Let me just get my face back up here.
Yeah,
Blah blah blah. Okay, for some reason you seeing me, right?
yeah, I seen your
Okay.
camera. Yeah,
All right. Cool. All right. So once again, welcome everyone to the SLU Gamer Hub State of Play show, and as our very first show for this special occasion, we're going to be discussing all things E3, mostly, well, predictions anyway, because the show hasn't started as yet. So right about now, we're gonna talk about what we think is going to show up, a little bit about what we know is going to show up. Um, we're also going to talk about what we would like to see. So all of our crazy fantasies um, that we can come up with for them to bring to the show floor, we're going to talk about that as well. And yeah, that's going to be the gist of the show. As I said in the posts that I put on Facebook, this is going to be the first episode of what will hopefully be many more shows to come from our state of play um, gaming show. So that's basically where we come and we discuss the state of play, or the state of the industry, the state of what's going on over with the various developers, and so on and so forth. Games coming out, that kind of thing. The console war. Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. So, for tonight, we're going to try to keep things as, let me see, organized as possible. So, we're going to pretty much keep it to the big three, which would be Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. Or Nintendo. But anyway, so first we're gonna, I guess we could start it off with Xbox, with what they're bringing over to the show. And for me, okay, I guess based on what I know is coming, they're definitely gonna show up with gameplay of Recall finally, because before this, all we've really had is a CG trailer, and I'm not too sure what that game is all about or how the gameplay mechanics work. It's supposed to be a third-person adventure game, I believe. Should have some shooting mechanics in there, and of course, there's the mechanic of the cores, basically being able to. It's like this core of energy that's able to manipulate inanimate objects and bring them to life. So at first there was this back in 2015, E3 2015, there was the trailer they showed was this female protagonist with a mechanical doll.
robotic or mechanical dog. Yeah.
Yeah. And it had the recall, I guess, the pink orb in it.
Well, blue orb, but
Oh, it was
essentially, I
blue.
think, yeah, the concept of the game is basically as it states. to recore your allies. So you have this core, which I assume you carry along with you, and your ally could die, but you could recore a new ally, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. And
Yeah,
what I like is about that trailer. They showed the dog like uh,
protected.
robotic thing, and I was as soon as I saw that dog, I was like, okay, yeah, that dog is gonna die.
Yeah. But the cool thing though is after that part and the dog, well, in fact, did die, then the core was taken out of the dog and she
Yeah,
placed it into a bigger,
yeah, a more humanoid looking android thing that came to life.
yeah.
But again, there's not that much we know about the game. Let me do a quick Google search.
Well, one of the key things I think that we should take note of is that the creator of Recore is actually, I think, the Mega Man creator. So to me, that for itself speaks volumes because Mega Man is an old classic,
Yeah,
well loved by millions of gamers. So I expect good things from Recore. I think it's from Kiji Inifune, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm not very good with Asian names, but
yeah.
yeah,
Well, I'm using the wealth of knowledge, the never wrong Wikipedia. And from what I'm seeing here, the producer is Keiji Inafune. So he's
yeah.
producing, and it's being directed by Mark Pacini.
All right.
And Mark Pacini is an American video game designer. He's a graduate of Rochester Institute of Technology, and since September 2008, worked for Amateur Studio. He previously worked for Retro as game director, and some of the games he's done is NHL Breakaway 99. He was a project manager. Oh snap! Okay, let's see. He worked on um, 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 okay, he worked on Metroid Prime 2 Echoes in 2014. Also worked on, he was also the director of Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. He directed Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. Um, let's see here. He worked on the Metal Gear Solid HD collection, but they do not show what he's credited with. He also worked on PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale. He was the director of Batman Arkham Origins, Blackgate, which was that horrible PS Vita game. Um, and in 2016, he's director of Recourse. So that puts a little more perspective on what's going on here. So Inafune is attached, definitely, but he's a producer, and this guy, Mr. Pacini, is the actual director, at least according to Wikipedia. But I'm looking forward to what they're going to show with it. It looks interesting. It does look different, definitely unique. So I'm looking forward to see what the gameplay is like. I'm thinking it's a third person, according to Gaming with Class.
Yeah, more than likely would be something third person. I think it's just well, Microsoft expanding on this table of exclusives because in the past it's pretty much been a shooter box.
Yep.
So Microsoft is looking to add some new character, so to speak, to the exclusives table. For me, however, my most anticipated game from Microsoft is what's the name again? With the total destructible environment,
Crackdown
a,
3.
a Crackdown 3. Because
Environmental destruction the game.
you see, the thing is, I mean, for years, Microsoft has been touting that cloud-powered engine, making Xbox pretty much 20 times more powerful with the cloud. And I, for one, I've not heard the last of it from guys in our local forums. Cloud power, this and cloud power that.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much looking forward to see where, well, first of all, how well it's implemented, the base bandwidth that will be required to have an acceptable, well, not acceptable, but so it can work properly and see the game in action. I think it's a major stepping stone for that technology. And if that pans out well, we can see a lot coming from that particular kind of technology because historically and even now, um, consoles have been very restricted on the CPU end. And
Hmm. Hmm.
with that kind of technology, it's actually pushing the cloud CPU offloading pretty much. So I'm looking to see how that kicks off with Crackdown and well, hoping for if that works out well for Microsoft, hoping for more games in the future to use that same kind of technology. And
Right.
yeah, definitely, I think that there will be a big demonstration of we got a glimpse of the multiplayer as well, basically showing off that the cloud technology of the multiplayer last E3. But I think this E3, there'll be a heavy focus on the single player aspect of Crackdown 3 because I think it's supposed to be released this year.
Yeah.
So, as far as exclusives from Microsoft, I think that because of the technology and um, shutting up the naysayers for the cloud technology, I'm looking forward to seeing that being showcased at E3.
Yeah. The thing is, for me, they definitely have a lot to prove because I remember back in 2013 when the Xbox One was unveiled, cloud compute was a big thing, and they were really pushing it. Like, listen, we know Sony's console is a little more powerful, but hey, with our cloud compute, we can make our system like 20 times more powerful. The thing is, we have yet to see this implemented in the real world.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, and with Crackdown, I remember when they showed it. I think it was last E3. Yeah, they showed off the destruction and everything, and the thing is, the guy or some of the devs were on stage, and they were saying, "Hey, we had to modify the damage output on the guns to really show everyone, you know, how the destruction works." So it's like all the guns were um, beefed up
Yeah, yeah.
by quite a bit. So that's something that I don't know, because to me I was watching it and I was like, well, maybe you should just keep the guns that way in the final game, because if it takes so much work, and the thing is, even with the beefed up guns, it was taking quite a lot of firepower to actually start to for them to destroy the buildings in a spectacular way. So I don't know. They hopefully they're able to tweak that, but definitely from what I saw, the level of destruction was definitely impressive.
Very
So
impressive. Yeah.
yeah. So hopefully, I don't know what the single player is gonna be like, but the multiplayer looks like it could have a lot of mayhem and carnage and stuff. So as long as they implement it well, more power to them. But I'm still skeptical because, like I said, it's been 3 years and it hasn't been done. And there were some games like
No, well, you say that it has not been done, but it has not been done on that scale because
look,
cloud compute
okay,
as a technology
what I
has
mean,
been used. Yeah,
it hasn't been used in a way to say like it brings something to the table that you can't get anywhere else. Like, okay, with Titanfall, they kept saying that they've been using Oh well, I guess
No, well,
Forza. I would say
well,
Forza.
that's what I was coming
Yeah,
to. One of the
Forza.
best implementations would be
Yeah,
Forza.
Forza is the only thing that starts together. But I mean, they had it in Titanfall for the
For the
minions.
NPCs. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I've seen a bit of it, and it doesn't look like anything a programmer couldn't come in and program into the AI. So up until that point, it was like, it doesn't look like anything that can be done with regular system resources. 1 second, I'm getting a message here.
Well, you see, in the case of Titanfall, I would not even go as far and use Titanfall as an example, because I mean, after cloud compute was supposedly used for the NPC characters, the game was still being rendered at some off resolution.
Yeah,
So,
782p.
you know, so
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
I kind of skeptical about if it was used, to what extent was it really used? Because
Yeah,
if resources were offloaded to cloud compute, why? So, I mean, the game was not that beautiful. In fact, I mean, there were games which came out in that same time frame, which look better than Titanfall, if I have to be
yeah,
honest. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's a
And
little skeptical
and the
to
thing
what
is,
extent.
it's about to come out on PS4. So
Oh,
it's like, okay, so you guys were talking like we couldn't do this without the power of Xbox
of the
and the
power of the
cloud.
cloud. That's fine,
And
but
now you're gonna do it on PS4
no, no, no. But
with
again,
Titanfall 2.
again, we don't know what will be showcased on PS4. If it will
Hmm.
be something like strictly PvP, or something that we are already accustomed to, because where, for a lack of a better term, that the NPCs in the original Titanfall on Xbox were quote unquote deck to use your term, but there were a lot of NPCs. So again, I mean, that would have to be something that we'll have to wait and see in the case of
Yeah,
Titanfall.
yeah. There were a lot of NPCs, but from what I understand, there were a lot of dumb NPCs that would just run towards you and shoot. It wasn't basically. It's like the AI wasn't very complex or anything like that. It was just your normal MOBA type minion NPC that would run, find you, start shooting at
But
you.
again, but again, I think also that was deliberate because you need to build up for your Titan, and you only get those points when you kill enemies. And obviously, the name of the game is Titanfall, where
Yeah,
you'd expect. So if you have like very challenging minions, then that it just Titans would be very hard to come by,
right,
essentially.
right.
So,
Oh,
so maybe it was deliberate. I'm not saying for certain, but perhaps that's why it was
okay.
used that way.
So we've discussed Recall. We've discussed um, Crackdown 3. Now let's move on to something that I think I remember reading up on this. Oh, by the way, before I
Yeah.
forget, sorry. Curtis just asked that we allow comments. So
So
I don't
comments are
know.
not allowed.
Yeah, he was saying that.
Um,
I don't know if he's watching on YouTube or.
More than likely, but to me, it should be there by default, unless it's a YouTube thing. I'd have to go on my page and check it out.
I can type on YouTube. I just did. I just sent a message.
Yeah, in the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Curtis, if you're watching, I think it's a problem on your end and not necessarily the stream.
Yeah. Unless he's trying to talk in Google Hangouts or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were saying?
Yeah. Okay. So next game, as I was saying, I think there's pretty much confirmation of it already, unless I'm mistaken.
Hmm.
But Forza Horizon 3.
Um, Well, I saw something about Forza. I'm not sure it's going to be a Horizon game. It won't be a motorsports a Forza Motorsports game, but I'm not sure it's a Horizon game. But definitely there will be some kind of Forza launching this year. I mean, pretty much that's a given by now. Forza
Yeah.
has been released every single year since the Xbox One has been released, and I expect 2016 to be the same.
Yes, yes. No, yeah, you're right. Nothing is concrete as yet. Basically, there's been a leak
All
or
right.
a so-called leak about Forza Horizon 3, 30 FPS on Xbox One, 60 FPS on PC. So based on the leak, supposedly this is going to launch on PC as well. And I remember reading that it's supposed to take place in Australia.
Oh yes, yeah. It's the stage is Australia. But as you brought up that PC thing, a lot has been made. I think that's something I wanted us to discuss also. A lot has
Mm-hmm.
been made about the Microsoft's focus on PC, and I know you have different views on it. Obviously, your view is that bringing those games to PC and all your top exclusives would mean that um, there is no use or no need for an Xbox One. and
Yeah.
I,
Depending on who you are, that is.
well, I disagree because I the thing is, the way I see it is, first off, if you're an Xbox gamer or a console gamer for that matter, you're a console gamer. I don't see Halo 5, for instance. By the way, that rumor came out and it was debunked by Microsoft. But
Mm-hmm.
Halo 5 being ported to PC. And again, I even if Microsoft came out and said, well, Halo 5 is not coming to PC, they did say the same thing for was it Quantum Break? And just like a week or so before its release, they came out and said, but hey, Quantum Break is releasing on PC, so anything Microsoft says at this point, I would take it for a grain of salt.
That's
But
true. That's
yeah,
true.
but the game being released or Microsoft's games being released on PC, I actually see it as a benefit because if you look at games like Sunset Overdrive, which will be coming to PC, Halo 5, which according to Microsoft's predictions, probably, I mean, it did sell well, but it probably didn't meet the expectations. And a lot of Microsoft exclusives, we hear rumors about Remedy, the Quantum Break developer, possibly going multi-plat.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
they came up straight and said they're looking to go multi-platform because they need to keep the lights on,
exactly. Now,
basically.
so here's the
Yeah.
thing. Microsoft currently has something like 20 million odd Xbox Ones. Nobody knows for sure. We know Sony has 40 million PS4s sold. So that's like double.
Yeah.
Microsoft's push right now is to have not focusing that much on hardware, but focusing more on the platform of Xbox.
Platform, yeah.
So, as from Microsoft standpoint, and if they were to bargain with a developer, probably for exclusive rights or whatever, we can go to a developer and say, hey, we have like 20 million Xbox Ones and another potential 40 million PC users. For argument's
Mm.
sake, obviously those numbers, I just pulled them out of the air. But that's a strong point for Microsoft to present because games going forward will be developed on the Universal Windows platform, which is write once, deploy anywhere situation. So it's a real advantage for developers, and I can see that developers actually um, going that route because you would have to code for PC and Xbox and PS4.
Yeah.
It'll pretty much be a Microsoft and Sony thing.
Well, what I was saying though, basically, it it hurts the box more than the brand, but not in a huge way. The thing is, for those people who are straddling the fence, like checking out the Xbox to see what's coming, to see if it might be something they want to get to, and they happen to be PC gamers. When more and more games start jumping the fence over to PC, then those players will be like, well, what's the point of buying an Xbox? It's coming to PC anyway. Unless, it's like one of those games that's more conducive to the couch style play, and, it's something that they'll be able to, they might have more friends to play with on console, like let's say it's a MP heavy game or something like that. But I'm talking about the consumer like me. Like, I'm a PC gamer. I have a PS4. And maybe I'm sitting there waiting to see, okay, Microsoft, what game are you gonna come out with that will make me say, I just gotta have that Xbox?
But you see, Sherwin, I think you classifying yourself wrong. You're classifying yourself as a PS4 owner, PC owner. I think the correct classification would be an enthusiast. And as far as sales go and the numbers go, enthusiasts are a small percentage of the total sales.
You are correct,
And
I did say that, but at this point,
yeah. And the thing is,
Xbox did every sale it can get.
well, that's true. But the thing is, you hear about that a lot, and you hear from sites like NeoGAF and another enthusiast site. That's actually the vocal minority. It's a very small subsection of the gaming population that come up with those claims. The vast majority of consoles and consoles sold are for the average Joes.
Well,
And I'm not saying,
but
I'm not saying that.
there's still a segment of people that are gonna look at it and say, "Hey, what's the point?" Now, like I said earlier, it's not going to really make a big impact, but in terms of the brand perception and everything, it's like, okay, it's basically there will be consumers who will say, okay, I don't need to buy this box in order to get this experience. And you have to keep in mind as well that the PC community is getting bigger. AMD just recently came out with a video card
The
that's
new graphics chips,
yeah 5.5 teraflops for only $200. So the various card manufacturers, they're making it easier for more and more people to get into PC gaming. So moving forward,
right.
it might become more and more of an issue, and I say issue in quotation marks, because no matter what, if someone buys it on PC or if somebody buys it for Xbox, Microsoft still gets the revenue.
Exactly.
So,
and generally, when the manufacturers make consoles, they take a hit. They take a hit on the cost. I'm hoping that people buy the software. If we can sell the software and we don't invest that much in hardware, it's a win-win for Microsoft. Again, I don't think that the hardware race would be something that Microsoft would bow out from. I mean, we hear of rumors of the Scorpio. We hear of rumors of the Xbox Slim.
Yeah.
So it's not a risk that Microsoft is ready to bow out of. So
it doesn't. I actually saw a tweet from Phil Spencer the other day saying he was saying Nutella. Satya Nadella,
right.
I like to call him Nutella. He was saying that he's very much behind the brand, and he's very much involved in what's going on and everything. So they're probably not gonna get out of it anytime soon.
To be honest with you, whatever Microsoft says, and just through keeping an eye on the gaming industry for the past couple months, Microsoft has said many things in the past and come around like that.
Oh yeah.
They said about Kinect being mandatory, and Kinect was removed out of the box again. They said about Quantum Break, multi-platform games. All those rumors were debunked by Microsoft, and just to come around so consumers can find out now that all the rumors had some kind of truth to it.
Yeah.
So I think the CEO of the company he has to show faith in his brand. So regardless of anything, he would come out and say, "Hey, we're the best box out there."
Mm-hmm.
And you would never hear from any Microsoft executive that we're doing badly or anything like that. I mean,
True.
look at the last NPD. Microsoft spin was gaming time doubled. That's
Yes.
positive. We sold
They
like shit. We sold like shit, but the
they
gaming
are
time
the
doubled.
masters of spin.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, I anybody who knows me knows that I'm an Xbox loyalist. But I will not sit there and pretend like, first of all, that Xbox is doing so great and trust Microsoft so much, and
Yeah.
especially based on the history, and just ignore, things that are right before my eyes.
Yeah.
Again, games going to PC and Xbox, it's the company makes money. We might get if um, that was the case from the beginning, all now, so we would be looking at a Sunset Overdrive 2, but that's not the case.
That let me tell you why that will never happen. I believe it will never happen. Remember when Quantum Break came out, and then Microsoft came out to um, make the announcement about the game's performance in terms of sales. They
Yeah.
didn't give the numbers, but what they said was it was the fastest selling new
Selling
IP.
new IP, yes.
Now check this out. There's
Uh,
this guy on, well, in a recent NPD, the NPD that just came out. I was checking out NeoGAF, and one of the insiders, one of the people who works or who work for NPD, they actually said Quantum Break has not crossed 200,000 units in the US as yet.
wow, that's wow.
Yeah, so if and if it's the fastest selling UIP, you gotta wonder what the heck happened to Sunset Overdrive. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
true.
think that's why I was always saying like, yo, Insomniac learned their lesson.
But
They went
again,
they went back
um,
to Sony, and Ratchet and Clank sold really well. Although they came in at a lower price point, but they sold really well.
but not only
So
that, Ratchet and Clank is an established franchise. So
yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
people will
yeah. So it's
fully
like,
write them off for that.
yeah, so I think that this time, I don't think we'll see another Sunset Overdrive
No,
or
well, again,
another.
you see that, but one thing to bear in mind, I think that both IPs are owned by Microsoft. So you may not see another Sunset Overdrive from Insomniac
Hmm.
or
You sure? You sure it isn't owned by Insomniac? Because I
no,
remember
yeah,
we
yeah.
were.
For Sunset, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Sunset Overdrive is owned by Insomniac,
yeah.
but
Because anytime Insomniac does work for Sony,
they
they
want
want
to
to
keep the
keep it.
IP. Yeah,
Yeah, and I guess that's why people were speculating that they went over to
that's
Microsoft
true.
because Microsoft was like, "Oh, sure, do it for us. You can keep it."
Yeah,
All right.
but
So
the other one, what Quantum Break, is actually owned. The IP is owned by
yeah, yeah,
Microsoft.
yeah. Microsoft owns that one. I doubt we'll see a Quantum Break again. I
Well,
haven't I
not
haven't
soon.
finished I haven't finished the game to see if it ends like in a open to another sequel, open to a sequel kind of way, but I don't know. Uh, that based on the performance, yeah, not at the very least, as you said, not anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think
So
anytime soon.
so in as far as you're concerned, if we strayed a bit, but if Forza does show up,
Hmm.
you think it's gonna be another Horizon or another Motorsport? I'm thinking another Horizon.
Well, again, based on the rumors that have been circulating, I don't think that it carries the tagline Horizon, but it may be a Horizon-esque kind of experience. Um, because again, if you look at the history of Forza, especially in this new generation, it has been Motorsports Horizon, Motorsports Horizon. We had Forza 6 release last year.
Mm-hmm.
So based on the trend, we're
We're due
coming.
for another horizon.
Yeah, so pretty much.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah. Now to move on to the next Microsoft game,
yeah.
Gears of War 4.
Well, that's I don't. You know, I would say that for me at least, I think that the Gears of War franchise is kind of tired. I'm looking forward to Gears of War for the graphical showcase. I think it's going to be a good game. They usually push the console to the boundaries as far as graphical capabilities. And recently, there was this tweet from, I think, Rod Ferguson from Coalition,
Mm-hmm.
showcasing the upgrade from the beta. A lot of people were complaining, myself included, about the graphics on the beta.
The beta.
And yeah, and they showed a tweet of the graphical improvements, and it was pretty much like, wow. A
Okay.
lot of people freaked out and say, well, based on what that was showcased in the beta and what you tweeted, it was a vast difference. So for me, and they placed a heavy emphasis on the multiplayer aspect of Gears of War 4. I've never been heavy on the multiplayer part of that. For
Okay.
me, it's all about the single player experience and the graphical showcase. Just something to show to your friends and say, look at what my Xbox can do.
Yeah. I'm thinking the gameplay is gonna be a little different compared to the previous three. I mean the name numbered entries. I don't know much
Right.
about Judgment. But I think you know how with one, two, and three there was these huge sprawling battles, set
Hmm.
pieces, that kind of thing. I think it's gonna have that, but based on what they showed, the first set of gameplay from the campaign, I'm thinking it's going to be a little more intimate in terms of how the point to point gameplay happens, and it might be a little more story driven. That's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong.
Well, I want to disagree with you because you see, the thing is, with those remakes or sequels for the new gen, especially in the Microsoft camp, um, the modernization of some of those franchises is often like a balancing act. You want to
Hmm.
improve and you want to add new mechanics that have become popular over the years, but you still want to stay true to, for the sake of Gears, the Gears formula, so that you don't alienate the people who actually made the franchise great. You
Well,
know,
yeah, yeah, but I'm not saying it's going to be a complete 180 from what makes Gears Gears.
and
I'm just thinking it, like especially when they showed, it's Phoenix's son,
right.
and they showed they had this trailer showing him as a little boy in Phoenix's arms and that kind of thing, and also there was the gameplay where he was running around with this woman, and the enemies, like that it wasn't. I guess it was very early on, but you weren't seeing like the swarm of enemies that you would normally see, or anything like that.
Okay, I get you.
It's kind of like what they did with what Naughty Dog did with Uncharted.
Hmm.
Uncharted 4 was more or less an Uncharted game, but it wasn't like the first three.
Yeah.
There was far more emphasis on story, far more emphasis on traversal, and that kind of thing. So the pacing was very different, and that's what I'm thinking they might do with Gears 4. And again, I could be wrong. It could be very awesome, like if they focus more on story and everything like that.
Well, again,
Not more than gameplay, but
yeah,
focus more compared to the other three, where it was just you rolling with a bunch of grunts, shoot aliens in the face, and move on.
yeah. But yeah, I think, I mean, as I said, Gez, I think it will be Gez. There's not
Yeah.
much to say. According to you, it's Forza Halo gets it's everywhere it looks like it's like.
Yeah,
uh,
I do know that there's at least three new IPs on the way. I'm not sure if they're coming from Microsoft Studios. I know there's three exclusive new IPs
yeah,
that that some of the big wigs actually confirmed that will be shown.
I think they
Um,
said that Rare was actually working on one.
yeah.
The studio was divided, so the Sea of Thieves
Ah,
guys
yeah.
working on Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. Since you mentioned Sea of Thieves, yeah, then that can be the next one we discuss. Now, Sea of Thieves, I don't know how to feel about it. Um, I'll tell you what. I have not gotten my pirate fix since Black Flag.
Black Flag.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag, yo, that game
Wait, now you see,
was just
I have that game on Xbox, yo, and I've never gotten past the first. No, I lie, the second stage. Because the
what?
first stage, yeah, I just cannot get into it.
Lem,
Maybe I
lem,
just never took the time to really.
I don't know, but listen,
Yeah.
I played okay, like in Uncharted. There's this at sea chapter where you're
Hmm.
on the boat and the sea is beautiful. Compared to Uncharted, to Assassin's Creed, it don't do it for me. It didn't
Yeah.
even come close. Like, when you take that boat out and you start upgrading it and you get into the skirmishes on the water, it was just fantastic. And it was so good that when I saw it was the first Assassin's Creed game that I completed. But
Yeah, a
after,
lot of people give it
yeah,
place it right up there. So
yeah. But and the thing is, when I after playing it, I was like, every new Assassin's Creed has to have pirates on the sea. There must be sea combat because it was too damn good. Yeah,
yeah,
so I'm hoping that Sea of Thieves will have bring that kind of feeling, that kind of swashbuckling um, on the high seas kind of feeling where you really feel like a pirate because again in Black Flag, I mean, there would be times you'd just be on the water and then your crew would start singing shanties and it was just
yeah.
so good.
But I think the direction that they want to go with Sea of Thieves, from what I'm hearing, is an MMO style kind
Yeah,
of
that's
game.
that
So
that's the thing that's
it
the
sounds like it's
aspect of it.
promising.
Yeah, that makes me pause and be like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to wait and see on that
yeah. I've never
one.
been a big pirate, as I said from Black Flag. I just couldn't get into the pirate thing, but
Mhm.
who knows? It's not on my top. It's not in my top five E3 announcements, but um, just I'm on the sidelines. I'm waiting to see what comes out of it. But definitely something to look at.
Yeah.
Uh, but I mean, I'm sitting here, I just going through my brain. I'm racking through my brain. Microsoft have a lot of content to show. We also have a lot of it is from last year. We also have that game, the 2D Disney old Disney
Cuphead.
style Cuphead, um,
Cuphead.
a very anticipated game.
Yeah.
Um,
Looking forward to it on PC.
Microsoft will welcome your dollars.
Yeah, man. Uh,
Yeah,
I don't vex, but yeah, it looks really cool, especially the
yeah,
animation, the fact that it really takes it old school, but still, while looking old, the mechanics and the animation makes you know that it's definitely rooted in the modern era because it
yeah,
looks too good to
yeah.
be
For
something from back then.
yeah,
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that. It really has that old school Disney, old
nostalgic.
school Tex Avery
Yeah.
kind of look to it. So
I
I'm
think the
really
biggest draw is the nostalgia for people.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to what they do with that. Also, what else is? MS gonna come with? um,
We said Recore, Crackdown, Sea of Thieves,
Gears of
um,
War 4,
Gears of War 4,
Cuphead.
Forza Cuphead, new IP. I'm hearing some Battletoads ramblings.
Oh yeah. Well,
All
not exactly a new IP, but it would be a resurrected IP.
resurrected.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
Another
almost
thing. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Yeah, Battletoads is like a low level equivalent of Sony fans asking for Crash.
Well, I agree with you. I really and truly, who really wants Crash or who really wants Battletoads? I mean, you ask for it, but it's the nostalgic thing. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
see I don't see me playing a Crash game now. It would have to be a totally different game with the name Crash and same for Battletoads. In fact, Battletoads never made it to the 3D era, so
yeah. As far as I know,
Battletoads
it didn't.
game, yeah, would be a complete reimagining of the franchise.
What
So,
what what if? Okay, I guess we can go into we can since we're having a hard time listing what Microsoft is going to show. I guess we can start to segue into the fantasy part of the, or in terms of what we think might be there on our
well,
wish list. What if,
all right.
what if Microsoft surprises us and they're like Conker's Bad 33?
Well, I kind of expect something like that from Microsoft because a lot of
Ah,
people have been at Phil's heels for Microsoft for Conquer since there was some kind of remake in Project Spark,
yeah.
and yeah, that
Oh,
gained a lot of traction.
speaking of which, you heard Spark is dead or going to be,
I think that was cancelled already.
yeah, messed up.
Yet they think, a lot of those things are on gamers' hands. I mean, the companies they put the effort in, and if people don't take advantage of it because they have the telemetry information, and if it's not selling or people not using it, why focus your attention? The same way as the DVR feature that was recently announced to be cancelled for Xbox.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the same thing.
I'm just wondering if Dreams will suffer the same fate.
Well,
But but
again, PlayStation
that's not
has,
a PS segment.
yeah. Well, yeah. I think my biggest thing for E3,
Yeah,
Microsoft,
what's your number one? I wish
fantasy.
they
I
come out
wish,
and say this.
I wish it would be a situation where Microsoft comes out and say they gave all the games, all the new IP and whatever, and at the end they're like, oh yes, and Scorpio will be available in September.
You'd buy one?
Uh, Yo, that would be E3 done for me. Scorpio available in
Yeah.
September, 6 teraflops, 7 teraflops, whatever it is.
Mm.
That's E3 done. Yo,
Yeah,
pre-order.
that would be very interesting, and it would be on to a certain extent. It would, like, let's say Sony decided, okay, yeah, well, we're coming out in September too. It would be almost a restart of sorts. But the thing is, it would help, but it wouldn't really, in my opinion, it wouldn't really turn the tide. It's kind of like when PS2 was out for a year before the Xbox, or
Yeah,
I can't remember how long. And by that time, Sony already had all the Japanese studios in their back pocket. They had a lot of the Western studios in their back pocket, and it was selling like crazy. Got a very high um, amount of sales. And then the Xbox OG comes out, much more powerful, launches with Halo, which looks like nothing ever seen before, even on PC. And PS2 ended up selling 150 million, and the OG Xbox sold like 27 million because of the momentum.
Well,
So
again, but I think though, it's really different now because
yeah,
um,
yeah, it's different. It's
the
different.
thing, the reason why I say that is because both companies now predominantly x86, and going forward, I don't think they would be investing in any custom silicon for
Nah,
their boxes. So,
nah. Off the
so the
shelf stuff.
situation, yeah. So the situation we have now is you buy an Xbox here today, all your games from today will work on your system tomorrow, and so on and so forth and so forth.
Hmm.
So me buying a Neo for PS4 or a Scorpio Xbox will not affect my library. What would happen in the past is if you have to make a decision, I let go of what I have now and I move on to the new, or vice versa. So
Yeah,
the fact that it's pretty much a linear upgrade for consumers or fans of either Sony or Microsoft, it makes it easy for you to just sell your Xbox, and if you desire, get a Scorpio.
yeah.
It's
Because personally, there was a lot of uproar when first it started when because Microsoft was the first. I'm getting a call.
yeah.
1 second, because I'm not gonna use my. I'm not answering on my phone. Come on. Why isn't it letting me? Ah, call from Curtis.
Yeah, what Curtis want to join? Curtis want to join the discussion, man.
Yeah, it looks like that. Try invite him because
Well, ask him to send you his name on Telegram so you can invite him.
yo, what's up, man? You're not gonna talk to us for very long. You and your you and your friend Gaza. Yo, you can hear me? Right now we're wrapping up the Xbox segment of the discussion, and then we're gonna move on to Sony, and then finish up with Nintendo. Yeah. So if you want to talk, you need to join the actual hangout. We'll try to invite you or whatever. Or you want to get back to your drunken hot girls. Yeah. Marvin?
Yo, yeah, I do.
Oh, okay, good. So yeah, so we were saying, right, right. What I was saying was Microsoft was the first company to make mention of this, and people were like, "Hey, what's going on? I don't
Yeah,
like this. This is going to alienate consumers." And then the rumors about Sony doing it came out, and then it just went nuts. What the heck is Sony thinking? This is bad.
yeah.
Just bought a PS4, and it makes no sense to me.
Nah, well,
Yes.
you see, to you, because you are already accustomed to
No,
that lifestyle from the
no, no,
PC
no, no.
aspect.
The thing is, it's like people aren't listening. It's
Yeah,
like, okay, even when the rumors came out and Eurogamer covered it, and I think Kotaku or GameSpot, no, Janbomb
hmm,
were the ones who broke it, and then Eurogamer came after, and they were like, yeah, we knew about this too. But can you see me?
oh no, I think your video has been disabled.
What? Let me turn it off and turn it on again. Ah, there we go. All right.
Yeah, yeah,
So the thing is, people aren't listening. It's a setup where the new, more powerful system is going to coexist with the older, not so powerful system.
Right.
The games are going to work on both systems. It's just that for those who opt for it, those who want more power, that are willing to spend a little more money, their experience is going to be a little different. Their experience, they're going to have a better frame rate or a locked in resolution or whatever. It's not going to affect anyone who bought the PS4 or the Xbox One day one.
Well,
The,
go
it's
ahead.
more of a like a envy complex. Like,
Mhm.
oh, they're,
Well,
I'm
not
not.
necessarily. You see, what I think though is a lot of people would play on consoles because, first of all, it's a closed platform, and whoever, especially for multiplayer games, whoever you're competing with, pretty much all of you are on a level playing field. So now with the introduction of Neo and Scorpio, people's
Mhm.
fears were, all right, so now I'm competing with this guy who is playing, let's see, for argument's sake, at 4K resolution and can pinpoint me from the distance, and I'm looking at some blue. I'm not even sure what it is. So then it changed the dynamics of competitive play. I think that
Uh-huh.
was one of the main things for people. That's why a
Well,
lot of people got
well,
went out.
the thing is, I think there's going to be parity in terms of MP experiences, but yeah, there's definitely like if there's a difference in resolution because like I've been saying for a while, some people want to say there's no difference between 900p and 1080p, and I always say hell no to that. There is definitely a difference, and I can spot it just glancing at the TV. I can know that crap looks like 900p, that ain't 1080p. I don't want
Yeah,
it on my TV. So if there's certain games and it's a MP experience, and somebody with a better resolution can have a visual um, advantage, then yeah. But what
worse
I'm
yet, if it's a better frame rate.
well, yeah. But I think they would go for parity in that regard.
uh,
The the original PS4 and Xbox versions would look like crap and run at 60 frames per second, and then the other one would run at 60 frames per second and look better. But my thing is, um, I can understand certain concerns, but the reaction of the community, and I think it's a vocal minority, it was just way
yeah,
overblown and it was a
yeah,
big overreaction. Your games are going to run the same way they would run if
2D.
the PS4K and the Xbox Scorpio never existed.
Yeah.
It's going to be the
So
same thing. But there's also the other concern that this is going to result in more delays and this is going to result in um, increased developer costs and whatever. BS. And I'll
but
tell you why.
yeah, go ahead.
I'll tell you why. PC developers that make games for PC, they have to take into consideration so many configurations,
Hmm.
right? And they still make their games. The games come out. The games run okay, unless you get the odd Batman Arkham Knight. And the thing is, it's basically how you set up your engine. Engine scaling isn't that hard. All right. And the thing is, I don't think with the 4K and the Scorpio, it's about adding new assets into the game. It's just a resolution bump and a frame rate bump. So once you
Right.
scale your engine properly, when the game goes into the system and the game recognizes, oh, I'm being run on a 4K, okay, unlock 60 frames per second, unlock
Yeah,
4K.
pretty
Although
much.
I doubt many games will be running in 4K. I don't
I think
think,
that target will be 1080 60
yeah,
standard.
1080 60. Well, based on the documents for the 4K, it's 1080 locked. No developer can go below 1080. The frame
Hmm.
rate, they can do whatever they want. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a locked 1080 and whatever. I look forward to it. I don't know if I'll buy one. It depends. I
Yeah.
mean, it really has to be. Like, I might buy one. I'll tell you what. I might buy one if they're able to stream to Twitch at 1080 60, I might buy one for that.
Well,
Because the current setup, I can't take it again.
yeah, it kind of dread. But the biggest thing for me, being an Xbox fan, I mean, that's well known fact. Microsoft has been on the short end of that stick for the past, I mean, from since this generation, the power struggle.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's something that Microsoft
It would basically
definitely,
squash that argument.
yeah,
The thing is, right now they're talking about, based on the rumors, that this thing is going to come out in fall 2017.
2017, yeah.
And if that happens, then if I were them, I wouldn't even bother. I what
Really, Sen?
I wouldn't bother, honestly,
Why is that?
because they're going to take leaks from now to 2017 fall, and then they're gonna come out with this new thing. At that point, I would just come out. I don't know. I would ride out the storm until the next gen.
Well, but that's the thing. Next gen in its current iteration, what we accustomed to being next gen, both companies are saying that Sony first came out and say he's not even sure what's his name if there will be a PS5. Uh,
Yoshida.
yeah, you should have said that, and Microsoft echoing similar sentiments. So it may be a situation where we have incremental upgrades. Every year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever the case is. Or it may be some modular situation like Phil Spencer hinted to sometime in the past.
Mm,
So again, I I think one of the biggest struggles Microsoft has had to overcome this generation so far was the resolution thing.
yeah.
In my mind, I think it's pretty much bullshit. I don't think that ever mattered before.
It did.
Really,
No, the thing is, it did. And let me show you how it matters even more now than it did when it
the
was
only reason
PS360.
the only reason it matters that much now is because of sites like what's the name,
DF,
Digital
Digital
Foundry.
Foundry. Nah,
Yeah.
nah. Let me tell you, Digital Foundry was there for the PS360 gen.
Okay, Sherwin,
And
before you continue, I mean, if you look at some of the arguments like GTA 5, more
mhm,
grass,
yeah.
more grass, right? Um, I mean, seriously,
No, no,
who's
no.
going?
That one will not make people say, I'm going PS4 for more grass for 20.
Yeah,
No, but the thing is, what I'm saying, it's always been a factor, and I'll explain why. Back
fine.
on the PS3 and the 360, Digital Foundry um, articles were scrutinized heavily. And the thing is, especially like on the multiplats, a game would come out on 360 and be 720p, and then on PS3 it would be, let's say, 640p. Now that
Right.
a big difference. But the thing is, people back then still used to be like, "Yeah, boy, watch that 360, much more powerful than the PS4." Far less when you fast forward to this gen, and you're having a game on Xbox One at 720p and 1080p on the PS4. So that's why I used to tell you. There were times I would tell you, the difference in power is even worse now than it was on PS3 and 360, because
Okay.
you having games going from 720p to 1080p and even 900p to 1080p. If you understand how resolution works, it's still a very big difference from what it was, from the smaller discrepancies that you would get on PS3 and 360. So what I'm saying is, if people used to act up for it back then, they would act up even more now.
Okay. So I guess that'd be a good segue to go into the PS4 side of things. But just to say, if we look at the rumored specs for Neo and Scorpio, right?
Yeah,
Neo
Scorpio
is
is like
rumored to be 4.4
4.4.
teraflops, and Scorpio is in the region of 7 teraflops.
Yeah.
currently the difference between PS4 and Xbox One is barely half a teraflop.
Yeah, some so. I think Xbox is like 1.3
1.3 PS4 is like
and
1.8.
8, yeah.
Right.
So yeah, even the difference between the two is bigger
So
than
now
current teraflop flops.
So now, Sony going 4.4 teraflops, and Microsoft rumored. Obviously, we don't have the details,
Yeah.
the rumored specs. Um, what you said that resolution, or it's too little, too late. If if Sony is coming out with a system that will be severely more underpowered than the Microsoft offering, don't you think that will have a significant bearing on the SWI for consumers,
Okay.
especially considering that it's not a situation like past generations where you let go of the past and you move on. You're actually moving on with your content, and a lot of people now
hmm
produce digitally.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to what I was saying about the
Yeah.
situation with PS2 and OG Xbox. It's gonna be, to my mind, it's going to be a similar thing again because there's going to be at least a year where let's assume that okay, PS4K comes out in September, unless we have a Labour Party situation like you pay. So they say, nah, 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 we are coming out with that now. We're gonna wait for Microsoft to come out and then they do the thing. But let's assume it comes out in at the end of this year. They're gonna again have a big chunk of time where they're the only ones on the market with a higher spec system. They'll get all those sales. So again, the momentum going forward by the time the Scorpio comes out. Okay, but we have this huge market share and you guys are just coming on. Okay, you come on, but guess what? We're almost ready to come out with PS5 now. And then, boom, a couple years pass, PS5 hits the scene on I don't know how long after. Well, basically, what I'm saying is
So
the
basically, what is going to be is an arms race between the two.
yeah, what if MS comes out with it the same time? Then definitely that's a win for Microsoft. But just the fact that they, based on the rumors, if they're really going to come out in 2017 with this thing, then it severely hampers the power advantage that they're going to come with.
Okay,
Because,
so again, I'll revisit a previous statement. If that's the case, then the power argument has no bearing in the sense that if power was so much of a big deal, then the console with the most power would be the console that everybody would flock to.
well, the thing is, again, with what won it for Sony, aside from Microsoft messing up and doing the attempting the crazy things they were trying. The thing is, you have two systems coming out at the same time, and aside from that, for the first time, the most powerful system was like $100
Was the
less.
cheapest system.
Yeah,
But that was the
than
argument from the beginning though, that the
yeah,
cheapest system won, isn't it? Hands down. And
yeah,
it
but
didn't make it any better that it was more powerful.
yeah, but the thing is, oftentimes we saw in generations past that usually the stronger system wouldn't win. But again, when you put the two systems on a more equal footing in terms of other factors like price and so on, then that's when you really begin to see the advantage of having more power. And the fact is, they came out at the same time. If, let's say, for instance, um, Microsoft came out first, like a year earlier, like with what happened with the 360. They came out a year earlier, and we saw a very different story playing out compared to what happened with OG, Xbox, and PS2. So what I'm saying is, in my mind, for MS to really clinch an advantage sales wise or whatever, they need to come out at the same time as the Neo. The whole thing about coming out a year later, that's going to tip it or unbalance it in
Well,
my mind.
to be honest though, I think the race will be won based on who the media loves. In the sense, yeah, it's true because
Time to put on
the
the tinfoil hat.
yeah because the media has sensationalized the no power situation and
Mhm.
obviously in favor of Sony.
Yeah.
So if it becomes a situation where now Sony is the underdog where power is concerned, I want to
The-
know what the new rhetoric will be
well,
as far as argument
the
for
new rhetoric will basically be the thing is moving from. You have to look at it this way. Um, Although it's not as much as a factor as it was back in the PS2 era, whichever system has the momentum, they tend to get more support from the devs. Or they also there's also the factor of that's where my friends are, all these kinds of things. So again, that's what I'm saying. Well, that will be the rhetoric, you know.
no well
Sony has
again
more games and that kind of thing.
again though Microsoft is going with the universal platform approach where you write one code and you deploy on PC and Xbox. So from a bargaining perspective, I think that they would be in a stronger position than Sony as far as bargaining with developers.
Is sort
Because
of.
it's a cost savings for one. If we save by writing one code, we can deploy on PC and Xbox at the same time. So
Mhm.
eliminating one platform, so that's cost savings and
I'm
a
waiting
bigger
to see
pool.
how that plays out because
Yeah,
I'm not gonna. I understand what they're saying, but I don't think it's that simple. And Quantum Break is a prime example of that. Because
no,
yeah,
well,
you can write your code and it can run, but how good is it going to run? Because right now I have a I have a strong PC and Quantum Break still runs like crap on it. So
no,
again,
I agree. But then I think though, the time that Quantum Break came out, Universal Windows platform was basically in its infancy, and it was a rush job, pretty much.
yeah,
All evidence
but
points towards that.
but there's also the problem of listen,
Mm,
fine, I can get my game on PC and um, on Xbox with one set of code. The problem is if Microsoft insists on going with this um, store exclusivity nonsense, like okay, they didn't want Quantum Break on Steam and that kind of
yeah,
thing, it's gonna bite them in the butt because recently information came out that um, Rise of the Tomb Raider, 98% of the sales came
that's
from Steam, 2% from the
from
Windows Store.
Universal. Yeah,
So if it like they have to do whatever they have to do to make that situation much better, or else that point is going to be nullified.
but again, though, the I don't expect Microsoft to just come into the digital distribution game and
Mm,
basically overtake Steam at this point in time. It will be a gradual process.
boy, it will.
Well,
It's
a
gonna be a
mountain,
long road.
a mountain to
But
climb.
I maintain that okay, fine. Even though yeah, they might come out with a more powerful system, and if they really show like here's the we have these extra 2 teraflops, and this right here is what you're gonna get with those extra teraflops, and if it looks good and they have some good games, I might want to buy it.
You see, and
I might want to buy
to put it into layman's terms, though, it's at least two PS4s more powerful than the Neo.
it. uh,
And the
one
PS4, uh,
one PS4
and
like
the PS4
a
in its
PS4
has been so
a
much more powerful.
PS4 and a quarter more powerful than the Neo. But yeah. So
But again,
if they can do that,
yeah.
I think they'll be in a much better position, but I don't think they'll be, because of the fact that it's coming out a year later, I don't think they'll be in that dominating position. Definitely not anything similar to
Well,
what PS4 is doing now.
yeah, I
But
agree. I agree. The momentum
yeah,
is in
but
Sony's favor.
it won't hurt. It won't hurt. But if they came out at the same time, then it would be really interesting to see how it all would play out. Okay,
Now,
so
before we segue into just one more thing I wanted to touch base on with the Neo and the Neo specs, right?
mhm.
Pretty much a report came out stating that the Neo was just to paint with a broad brush happened by accident because it was more expensive for Sony to shrink the die than to um, put in the new chip.
Yeah,
Right. I think I mentioned that in the group though.
yeah,
What would happen though if it's a situation where the Xbox Slim was faced with a similar was put in a similar position where, okay, you know what? These that's what we are faced with. String the die, pay more, or upgrade for a lesser cost. What if the Xbox Slim, which is rumored to be released this year, actually comes out with similar specs or as the Neo, and it releases before the Neo?
yeah. That again, in that situation, hell yeah, they would be in a
Yeah.
very good position because again, they would be the first to market, and or even though the Neo came out around the same time, now nobody can say, well, PS4 more powerful. That argument is dead in the water now. It will be solely based on who has the better games and that kind of thing. Who has the better games, who has a better service, and right there,
Well,
Microsoft will be in a much better position, I would
in a
say.
much better position, but I think Sony is still in the driver's seat because I think ultimately the biggest determining factor is where do your friends play,
Yeah,
and and no matter what power wise, games wise, the general public plays third party games. So
true,
my
true.
friends play on Sony or Microsoft. That's where you're going to be.
Mm,
And right now, your friends generally play on a PlayStation. So
true. Which kind of forced you to get a PS4.
pretty much, yeah, pretty.
So,
I know that. I know
and
that very well.
yeah, and that's why I was saying again, it's all that when with a year coming out a year later and all those systems being sold, power will be nice, but at the same time, more power will be nice, but at the same time, when you have that large user base behind you, it
Yeah,
snowballs,
yeah,
as you like to say. Well,
yeah.
before we move on to the PS segment, one more little observation. Your link got this deleted
Oh
again.
yeah, I
Yeah,
checked it.
yeah. Real petty BS, man. Uh,
I checked
anyway,
it.
we're not gonna get into the YouTube drama. So yeah.
Uh,
Okay, so now
yeah,
PS4
right.
and the game I'm most hyped for, more than even Uncharted, and I was really hyped for Uncharted.
Boy, tell me about it.
Horizon freaking Zero Dawn. Oh man.
All
Now
right. Yeah.
this game, I'm very excited for it, but at the same time, I'm like, I really like story-driven games, and this is freaking Guerrilla Games making this game.
Yeah.
And they're not known for making incredible stories. Although Killzone 2, here's the thing, not Guerrilla has some of the most brilliant lore creators that I have ever seen. I went and I read the entire back history of Killzone. Why the hell guys are fighting with the the ISA and the ISAF and all that. It is brilliant. The
But
thing is, they have a problem going
we're
from
translating
the
that
law and bringing
to the
it
game.
into a narrative.
Yeah.
They've always had a Killzone 2 was okay. You still, the voice acting wasn't amazing or anything like that. But the story still kind of made sense. So this gives me pause. This makes me say like, okay, the gameplay might be really good, but again, this is their first open world game. The fellas not only making their first open world game, they're making their first RPG game.
Right.
The only glimmer of hope in that aspect is that the fact that they've hired a bunch of people to help them patch up their weaknesses. So they hired a guy that wrote Fallout 4 New Vegas, and in terms of questing, they hired a couple of guys who worked on The Witcher 3 to design the quest. And I understand Witcher 3 has some really good side quests,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. So if those people can come together and make this game really good, that'll be awesome. But at the same time, again, Uncharted 4 spoiled me because I looked at the recent Aloy's Journey
Mm-hmm.
trailer, and the voice acting wasn't like, left a bit to be desired. Like the little girl is like, "Huh, where did I come from? Who is my mother?" No freaking little girl talks like that. So it's like, I'm like, come on, could you guys hire like Neil Druckmann, like just look, come
Well,
over here for a little bit
yeah.
and help us with our voice actors because we need to get this thing right. But in terms of just the uniqueness of this game, dino freaking robots.
Yeah, that's the thing. Now, to my knowledge, I'm not sure if that has ever been done or done
Yeah,
successfully
and especially in that setting, because you would
in that
expect to
setting.
see
Yeah.
dino robots in like a non-dystopian futuristic
In the
setting.
future, yeah. It's
But
pretty much a
this,
setting now where the robots basically took over.
yeah, this is
And
post apocalypse
yeah,
where everything has reset. So it's like we're back to the Stone Age, but it's not really the Stone Age because mankind isn't the one ruling it anymore, and it's not really animals ruling it anymore either. It's these dino freaking robots.
yeah.
And
And
go ahead.
for that, yeah, for that kind of experience to translate well, I am imagining that you'd need to have a good story
Yeah,
to bring it to the friend.
yeah.
Yeah.
I am thankful though. Whoever is playing Aloy, she seems to be doing a good job because from the first reveal to the new trailer that came out, her delivery seems very good. Like when she got up and she told the shaman kind of looking woman, "Help me or get out of my way." All of that consistently, the acting seems to be good. It's just baby Aloy and
Yeah.
and the guy narrating the new thing. And I was on NeoGAF, and fellas, boy, they give that trailer licks. Like they say, visually it looks amazing. The cinematics look amazing, but that damn narration by the guy who's teaching Aloy. But then I told them, listen. I don't know why y'all getting on so because or talking like that. And I actually told them that I wonder if I'm the only St. Lucian on yoga. But anyway, who's a member anyway. But the
Yeah.
thing is, I told them this is your typical trailer narration. It doesn't mean he's going to say these things in the game, and I doubt he's going to say these things in the game. At least I hope not
Yeah.
in that line. You know, I'm thinking because it sounded like he was talking to Aloy, everybody's like, oh no, this sounds a little too campy, it sounds a little too cheesy. But I think it was just dialogue written for specifically
For the trailer.
for the trailer. I, I'm just hoping this game is good because I'm hyped. Yo, look
But
at my
again, though,
look at my freaking background, yo. Freaking Horizon from back in the
I mean, different experiences would rely heavily on different methods. Or, something like an RPG would not rely heavily on voice
story.
acting that much
Yeah,
and
yeah,
story. So
yeah.
I don't think it
Because
would be. Yeah.
like for instance, the story in what's the name of that game? Shadow of Mordor. Whack,
Right.
whack story. Like
Exactly. Exactly. But it's a very good game.
it's a very good game. It's a lot of fun to play.
Yeah.
I mean, when I start that game, I look up. It's 2 hours later and
And you
whatnot.
had to shit.
Yeah, but it's one thing I always. If there was one thing I didn't like about it, is like, come on, can we just have a coherent story in this freaking game?
Yeah.
I mean, even at the start, it just like thrust you in and like,
Into the
okay,
game.
go kill some orcs,
Pretty much. Yeah.
some uruks. Yeah, but Horizon Zero Dawn, like all I don't want them to lie to us about how open the game is. Like some of the guerrilla games devs were saying, hey, you see that mountain? You can see it, you can walk to it. I don't want them to have us on no BS and be like, oh shit, invisible wall, can't go there. Or
Yeah.
I don't want it to. In the new trailer, they showed that you could actually ride one of the Dino freaking robots. I don't want
Right.
it to be a case where it's only that
A
section for some
cutscene or
kind of
something. Yeah.
yeah
Well,
on
not a cutscene,
rails.
but yeah, a really unreal kind of situation.
Yeah, I want it to be like The Witcher 3, where I can go wherever I want, when I want. I even wanted to take it a step further because even in The Witcher 3, like to get to certain cities, the game would have to load that kind of thing. Nah, I don't want no loading screen.
But
Stream the hell out of that.
you want an Uncharted?
Eh, well, no, because Uncharted is wide linear. I want
Yeah.
open world. And I'll tell you something, that's the only open world game I'm interested in right now because even though I don't play games a lot, I'm suffering from the open world um, fatigue.
Open world Tabanka.
Yeah, too
Uh,
much damn open world games. But
yeah.
that's one game I'm really, really looking for. I want to find out what Aloy is all about, what she's all about, why this happened to the human race. And there's been some wild speculation and theories on NeoGAF about the game. I think I think Aloy is definitely linked to the advanced civilization. Some people are even saying she might be a robot herself.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure if.
Yeah, because there's this or she I think they might go with the cliched thing where whoever caused the old ones to be wiped out and everything to reset, she might be a descendant of those people.
Right.
And it might be like by part 2, because from what I understand, they plan to make it a franchise. But by part 2, it's like, okay, Aloy in part 1, she realized that everything that happened is because of her lineage or her ancestors or whatever. And in part 2, now she's like, okay, it's my people's fault. I'm gonna undo this kind of thing. Anyway, that's just my crazy speculation and
Again,
crazy.
I mean, what's predictions without speculations?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
really looking forward to that game.
I think that would be one of the games that'll be heavily showcased at Sony's booth because that's one game a lot of people are looking forward to.
Speaking of which, um, I think we can talk a little bit about this. But what the heck is up this year with all the voluntary leaks? Like all these companies coming out like, oh yeah, I know if we know if is coming up next week, but here's a trailer for this game that we haven't even announced yet. And here's a trailer over here. So it's
Well,
like
again, when I see those kind of things, so I imagine that okay, if they're leaking those things out now, that means they have so much in store
That's what we
At
want to
E3.
hope.
That's it. Well, again, it's wishful
That's
thinking.
that's what we want to hope, and that's what I'm thinking too. Because even with Horizon and the um, Aloy's Journey trailer coming out, there were a lot of people who like, why all they leave that for E3? Right? So maybe at E3 they're gonna be like, oh, we're gonna
That's
show
what.
you like 5 minutes of totally gameplay, and we're gonna show you how far we've come from back in 2015 to now. The people announced Watch Dogs 2 so
Uh,
close to E3. So you
yeah.
really have to wonder, like, E3 is gonna be so jam packed
So
that they
it's
had to
best
be
to
like,
get rid of
yeah.
something there.
And
And
Jeff Keighley has
yeah,
been on Twitter. I don't know if you follow him, but he's been on Twitter like, oh man, E3 this year is gonna be like unlike anything you've seen, and oh my god, this is a game changer. And I'm just wondering. But, yeah. What were you saying?
no, I'm just saying that basically the same sentiment I was saying earlier is the fact that all those trailers and announcements are being leaked beforehand um, could be that they have so much in store. We have to get some things out of the way to make. We just cannot cover everything at E3, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
So yeah.
oh, the other game, Gran Turismo Sport.
Uh,
Now, this is a case of marketing gone wrong, and I'll tell you why.
why is that?
Did you see the latest trailer?
No.
They just came out with an E3 trailer. Again, it ain't even E3, and
Yeah.
these companies are putting out E3 trailers, right? And the game looks so much better than what they showed at the reveal in London the other day.
Right.
And the trailer they're showing now, it's edited so much better instead of that stupid thing they had the last time with the baby,
Mm.
the baby singing in the song. Yeah. Yo, I watched that on Twitch, and we were dying in the Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Every time the song comes up, you see everybody typing "wow," and you see people putting the baby rage emoji and whatnot. But basically, if you go and watch that new trailer, it's like pretend the first thing never happened, and like
Right.
this is your first look at the game because it looks so much better. The In terms of the graphics, like the cars look very solid, although there's still some aliasing issues. Some of the cars still have the jaggies, but in terms of the environments, the trees look amazing. When sunlight passes through the leaves, you can see the subsurface scattering and everything. It looks really good. And I don't know why they didn't go with that trailer instead. I guess I don't know. Maybe they weren't ready to show that build when they were in London or something.
Yeah.
But it looks really looks really
Uh,
good. And if that's 60 frames per second, that's really good for a 60 frames per second game.
Again, too, I think they had to show something because I mean it's like 3 years now. People have been clamoring for Gran Turismo on PS4, and there was basically just talks about Gran Turismo. I think
Yeah.
they were pretty much forced to show something, and well, I wouldn't say forced because again they're in the driver's seat, but
Let,
they had to show something to keep fans at bay.
let's use the technology here. Let me get that Gran Turismo trailer. Turismo Sport. Okay, pause and let me try to screen share. I don't know if you'll hear the audio or not, but
Uh,
you can just have a look and see, like, even down to the editing, it just looks better. Okay. screen share. Well,
Okay. Yeah.
you hearing
Uh,
it?
no, we have no audio coming through, but
What about now?
nah, but you can let it run though.
You're seeing it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just so yeah, you can see the sunlight diffusing through the leaves. Um, just generally looks very good. But anyway, for the purpose of time, I'll just fast forward a little bit. See, driving is for everyone. Um, some races, and then they show how yeah they show how you can mess around with decorating the vehicle, which means finally they're on par with Forza in that regard.
Fine. Well, we hope.
Yeah. So yeah, and they were showing like basically there will be these various events where you can compete and it will be commented on live and they actually showed one of the guys doing the commentary and that kind of thing. So yeah, they should have gone with this. But again, I'm not a huge GT fan. I played I played maybe a couple of them on PS1. I never beat
Yeah.
any GT, and I played Gran Turismo 3 on PS2 and 4. Gran Turismo 3 was a lot of fun, especially the rally aspect because the physics were really bad in terms of not being realistic. So you could take corners going full speed all the way, and then Gran Turismo 4 came out and like you couldn't do that again. I guess they checked like, oh yeah, we gotta fix up the physics there.
Oh, we have a simulator.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll just have to wait and see what the heck happens with GT Sport. All I'm hoping is that they don't end up in a Street Fighter 5 situation where they neglect the offline aspect to the point that people like, I don't want to be racing online all the time
But
and that
again,
kind
though,
of thing.
isn't GT Sport supposed to be like uh,
What kind of
um,
thing?
a half-baked offering? It's not a full
They
GT
haven't said up to now.
experience.
They haven't said up to now, and that's the thing. So I don't know. I don't know what they're looking at or what they're planning to do. I just
Yeah,
hope whatever it is, they do it well for their sake. I wish them all the best. Um,
yeah,
oh, wait a minute. I need to stop screen sharing. Just a
yeah. And
second.
um, this
Yeah.
game, it's the game from the racing game on PlayStation 4. I,
Drive Club.
yeah, the Drive Club. You mentioned the commenting and the events aspect of Gran Turismo Sport, but Drive Club had similar premises though, and to me, a lot of which never came to fruition.
Yeah, well, it's a bit different with GT Sport because GT Sport has the FIA behind them.
Hmm.
I'm not so much of a racing enthusiast to understand what that is, but it's basically the FIFA of the racing world.
Yeah,
So they have those guys behind them, and it's wait a minute. So it's not like Drive Club, where Drive Club was more of a kind of thing where people would send you challenges,
hmm,
and you would try to beat the challenge of whatever challenge they sent you. I got a number of them from random people on the internet. GT Sport is different. GT Sport is basically you you go online, you race. If you can register yourself for these big events, e-sport type events where you can
yeah,
win money. So it's a different thing. It's more like a MLG kind of thing, people commentating, audience watching. Drive Club didn't have that. Drive Club was more of the community kind of thing. Like, okay, so
Right.
this guy he made X amount of points when he drifted around that bend. I'm gonna come and
You
try
try
and
to
do
beat
it.
it.
Yeah, that's
Right.
more what it was. GT Sport is taking it more seriously.
Right.
So I
More
think
of an
we
sports kind of
yeah.
situation.
So I think we can move on to the next game. But with Sony, a lot of things are under wraps, even though they have been blabbing them out a little bit. But
Well,
we do know that Sony Bend is
we'll be
some
releasing something new. They're working on
yeah.
something.
Now
Right.
Sony Bend is a studio I like. They made a lot of good games on the PSP. They made um, I think they made the Siphon filters, which were damn good. I played
But
the Siphon filter on PSP, the first one. Beat that, played enough multiplayer on that. One of the few games that came out with multiplayer online,
but
which
again,
is
though, you talk about Sony Bend, but when they get relegated to doing those kind of small titles,
yeah. But the
I
thing,
think that's the first outing for a mainstream console.
well,
Uh,
yeah, it is. But the thing is, what they did on the PSP and
mhm.
eventually the Vita, I think they also made Uncharted Golden Abyss. They seem to they showed that they could make really big experiences that would rival even what was on the PS2 and condense it for the PSP because Siphon Filter on the PSP was nothing like Siphon Filter on the PS1. They took the gameplay to the next level, and it was a really fun game to play and all that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do. But yes, it's going to be their first triple
um,
A, if it's
outing,
triple
yeah.
A. But there is there's rumors that it's some post-apocalyptic game called The Dead Don't Ride.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
saw
it's
that.
some post-apocalyptic game about bikers. It might it might borrow from Mad Max. So it's like these mad
Uh,
fellas on bikes and they have to survive the undead.
uh,
One thing about Sony I find this year or for the games they're coming up with, the new IPs, they try to be very unique because I've never heard of a post apocalypse with Dinobots
yeah.
or a bunch of biker gangs
But
fighting
again,
the undead.
again too, I mean, a lot of the experiences that have been coming out are pretty much rehash situations. So
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
good to see studios taking chances and
Yeah,
some of the new ideas.
yeah. So I don't know what I don't know. It might not even be that. Somebody might just be blowing smoke up our butts or whatever. But
Or it can be very awesome.
yeah, it could be. It could be. But again, if my hype, my number one hype game is Horizon, my second
Horizon.
most hype game is definitely The Last Guardian.
Uh, so
This freaking game.
The Last Guardian. Again, I mean, that's not a genre of game is that I'm myself pretty much interested in. Um, but you have confidence that The Last Guardian will be coming out this year, or you just waiting to see more of it at least?
Like I told you all in the phone group, if this game doesn't launch in 2016, I will eat a hat. I'm like, this game is coming out in 2016. No freaking doubt about it. And if Sony delays that again, I'm like, what the
Now, you know, honestly, I have no confidence that The Last Guardian would come out this year, just based on how much
hell?
they showed of it last year.
Hmm.
It, I don't know. I have no confidence
Well,
in it.
remember recently IGN started doing a IGN first on it,
Right.
and they definitely showed a lot more, and it's actually looking pretty good from the half a second footage the 5 second footage they were showing. It definitely. I remember when it was shown at E3 last year. Even I was like, "What the? Is this a freaking PS3 game?"
Yeah.
But it based on what I saw the last time, it does look next gen. But the thing is, the guy making it, I forget his name for some reason, but the guy making it, his games never really push the visual boundary, equal Shadow of the Colossus. But in
Hmm.
terms of art direction and scale, that way they push the systems because even with Shadow of the Colossus, like yeah, the textures weren't amazing, but the colossi they had the fur and you could crawl on it, and the game was freaking big, so it was like it pushed the system in that way. And I see the same thing happening with the Last Guardian. It's going to be a beautiful game in terms of art direction and animation, because that cat bird dog thing is animated so well. Like there were even times like I remember in the first trailer when the boy jumped towards the dog catbird thing.
Yeah.
And while he was going through the air, you'd actually see its ears point towards him, just like one of my cats. Like if it sees something, the ears would
Yeah.
go towards it.
But pay attention.
All the little nuances, and I mean, in that regard, I think it's going to look amazing, but we still don't know much about how the actual gameplay is. I know that there's this new mechanic that was revealed where the boy has a shield that also acts like a mirror, and he can shine it on a surface, and the cat dog bird thing will shoot lightning from his tail at whatever he's pointing at.
Yes, point to that.
And it's funny because it's almost like, and I know that's what they do. It's like they're making a joke about playing with your cat with a laser
Over there.
pointer.
Yeah. When you said the mirror thing, that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, so there's all that, and everybody freaking knows that the cat bird dog thing is gonna die.
Because I think the biggest draw or the biggest point in that game is from an emotional aspect. Uh, as you said, not necessarily graphics. I
Yeah,
can't comment that much on gameplay because not much has been shown in the sphere of
yeah.
gameplay. But based on the connection between
Oh yeah,
the boy and his pet,
oh yeah.
it's pretty much looking to play on the
Yeah,
emotional
it's
side of
gonna
things.
heavily because
Yeah.
even when they showed when they showed that trailer last year, like I was like, I wanted Trico. I wanted the cardboard dog because they mess with you so much. Number one, they showed like, okay, he can listen to commands from the boy, although not perfectly, just like a real animal, according to what the director is saying.
Hmm.
And then there's this sequence where he saw something that he didn't like. He saw this big monument or whatever it was, and he was hissing at it, and the boy had to get rid of it in order to continue.
To move
So
on.
all
Yeah.
those things, it's like this symbiotic relationship between the boy and the cat bird dog thing where, yeah, if that freaking thing dies by the end of the game, you're like,
Yeah. I'll take you basically on an emotional roller coaster throughout the game.
yeah. So yeah, so Last Guardian, looking forward to that at the end of this year. Release date September 20.
Well, boy, I think not just you. I think a lot of people looking forward to that game.
Yeah, I just hope Sony doesn't send it out to die. They've been a good job. They've been doing a good job of avoiding that, sending games out to die amongst the Call of Duties and the
Yeah.
Battlefields. So I hope whenever they release it, it's going to be by itself.
But as a thing, though, I mean, everybody want to vie for a spot in the holiday season.
Well,
Usually,
not Sony. Sony will like fire for that. I'm messing with that, and it's a strategy that has worked out for them because I'm thinking if let's say Ratchet and Clank came out Holiday 2015,
Yeah.
that wouldn't be at the
It,
top of
it
NPD
wouldn't.
nowhere.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, it
it
wouldn't
would.
have
It
worked.
wouldn't.
I
So
I
yeah,
remember I remember when we were arguing about Fallout 4 and I think
Tomb
at the time
Raider.
Rise of the Tomb Raider and everything. And that's a classic example of games pretty much being set up for failure.
Yeah, because
Otherwise, good games.
Aaron Greenberg was like, "Oh man, Tomb Raider, it's very different from Fallout, and the people
Yeah,
who want to
I
play
mean,
Fallout would they're not like,
I share the same sentiments because I mean, I'm not a Fallout fan. I'll not go out and buy Fallout just because. And same way, I mean, people who play Tomb Raider, it's two different kinds of games, but
yeah."
apparently,
But at the same time,
yeah,
you will have a lot of customers who might like Fallout and like Tomb Raider.
yeah.
But
So
if they're
now
given the
you have to make a
choice,
decision. Yeah,
they will be Fallout
yeah.
because they've been waiting for Fallout for so long, and the Fallout
Very
is this big game, more value for money, that kind of thing. So
So, I
yes,
mean, we have seen that happen in the past, and I
yeah,
hope that, well, the publishers and companies take note more
yeah.
than we do, so they know. Based on that, that's something that they cannot repeat.
Mm. So for Sony, in terms of the first parties, what else they've got?
Well, Shenmue was announced last year.
I don't expect that to see. I don't expect to see that shit for the next 10 years.
The FF7 remake.
I don't expect to see that for the next 3, 4 years.
No, but I still think even if something will be shown at E3 for for those two games, God of War,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Now,
God of War
still,
definitely.
you still have to file that under rumor. Nothing
Mhm.
official coming out yet. But I heard this crazy thing that oh, he's not gonna be fighting the gods of Greece anymore
Yeah,
or Olympus. He's gonna be fighting the Norse gods.
yeah. I
So
think
you
I read
have Thor and Odin, and I'm like, I want to see
that.
how them fellas going to
But
make
again,
that make sense.
yeah. But I think though, for God of War, we might just get something like a trailer or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like a very vague teaser,
Yeah,
like what they did with Uncharted for the very first time they announced it. The
pretty
camera
much.
was just panning over the map, and then you heard somebody talking in the background. Or when was the last time that studio made a game? It's been a while, so we might actually see gameplay. They,
Possibly.
yeah, because I think it's been in the oven long enough that if it is real, then yeah, they'll come out and say, "This is what we've got. Have a look at God of War 4."
What we've
Uh,
been doing over the past well, not umpteen, but
maybe close to 4 years.
well, yeah, yeah.
Close to 4 years. Oh, there's this other game, Detroit, that
Oh yeah,
nobody's
yeah,
remembering.
yeah, yeah. No, what? Yeah,
I then again, it's a it's a Quantic Dream game, European. They might leave that for Gamescom or the Paris
well,
Game Show, depending on what they do. But I'm
why not?
very interested in that game.
You see that though, but E3 is the largest thing covered by the media, the largest game show covered by the media. So
Well, it
I
was
mean,
revealed at the Paris Game Show, so
it
some
was
games,
revealed.
yeah. But if they have something to show, then yeah, they might show it at
At
E3.
E3,
But
I mean, that would be the best.
I'm very interested in that game because it's kind of the same relationship I have with Horizon. I remember, and this is again why I will always love NeoGAF. NeoGAF is the best freaking site when it comes to gaming. But anyway, I was on NeoGAF before I
Right.
was even a member, and the pictures, the concept art of um,
Horizon.
Horizon got leaked, and everybody was like, "What the hell? You can take down dino freaking robots and jump on them and take them down and like what the hell is this?" And everybody was like, "Whoa, this is Gorilla's new game." And in the same way, in a similar way, Quantic Dream just released this tech demo of Kara,
Right.
where they showed when she was created and assembled, and then the quality assurance guy was talking to her and asking her different questions. And then he started to realize, like, damn, this AI is kind of self aware. And then he was like, oh, she's a defect, gotta shut you down. And then the machine started ripping her apart. And like, no, I'm scared. And boy, I was like, man, don't kill her, man, don't kill her.
Yeah.
Okay. And then from the time Quantic Dream came out with that, everybody was like, this needs to be a game, this needs to be a game, this needs to be a game. Because after that thing came out, Beyond Two Souls, they just did their little thing, and then Beyond Two Souls came out. And I think because so many people were in their tail, we want Kara, we want Kara, we want Kara. Well, like, they were like, okay,
Make something out of it.
there's Detroit.
Yeah.
strange,
But again,
strange name for a game.
yeah, it's something that we've not heard that much about.
Yeah.
I think, between the two conferences, Microsoft and Sony, I think Sony conference would be the one to keep an eye out for more, because you pretty much know what's coming out of Microsoft's camp.
Yeah. And that's why I was arguing with you the last time that I felt Microsoft did not beat Sony last E3. Because the thing is, again, all those games that they showed, yeah, they were coming out very soon, but we knew the Forza week was coming. We knew the Halo was coming and all that. So it was like basically a conference to show, all right, this is what you're gonna get when these games come out. I knew that was coming.
But the thing is, though, I mean, quantity does not amount to quality. That's the thing. And whilst, I mean, it could be a situation where it builds up hype and expectations. So let's look
Which
at
is what E3 is all about.
well, yeah, but I mean, we can take so many. Well, I won't say so many examples. I mean, they're not that many. But you can look at, for instance, the Order 1886. It had a lot of splash at E3, and it turned out to be very lackluster.
Mhm.
So,
But my argument is, it's not about, when you look at determining a winner of E3, it's not about what happens after E3. It's about what happened at E3.
but again, so then a company can just come out and show a bunch of trailers and be crowned the winner, if that's
Well,
if that's the determining factor.
the thing is, so Sony's 2015 conference is nicknamed the Conference of Dreams, which
Right.
that alone makes me say, yeah, they won, because them fellas dropped things like people were crying for. It's like all the men were missing to do was drop Half-Life 3. And boy, if Half-Life 3 dropped this year, then wow. Anyway, but the thing is, aside from just dropping trailers, Last Guardian, they had gameplay. Horizon, they had gameplay, which I remember when the Horizon thing came up. Oh, y'all should have seen me. Oh, I was right there. I was like, what? I was going crazy because I was like, this game is freaking real. It's real. It's a real thing. And then the music was so amazing. And then they show Aloy overlooking the plane. And then
Right.
I seen the camera starting to, gameplay.
Again,
So yeah, that's the thing. They didn't just show trailers. They showed real, like The Last Guardian, which was part of the Trinity. The Last
Okay.
Guardian, it had gameplay. But the other things like Shenmue, the thing about those two games, Shenmue and Final Fantasy VII, you don't even need to show gameplay. You just need to come out and say, it's happening. It's like the whole internet just goes crazy.
again, I mean, it goes back to the same thing I was saying earlier: content versus quality. Whilst you can point out a few things which possibly might be good games, who knows? Then there are things like Dreams. Like,
Oh yeah, Dreams was there as well.
but what the hell is that? And there were some other examples that I cannot put from the top of my head right now. And for me too, and that'd be a good segue to another one of Sony games. No Man's Sky falls in the same category as Dreams.
But the thing is, you have to admit the thirst for that game is very real.
Well,
Because
yeah.
even when the pre-orders open, like you know me, I always check in my Amazon chart. That went to the top, and it stayed there for a good while, and it still appears in the top 20. Speaking of
Hey.
which, Horizon Zero Dawn, when they opened pre-orders the other day too, and the $120 collector's edition
Yeah.
to the top. The only thing beating it right now in terms of a game aside from the gift cards is Persona 5. The Persona 5. Let me tell you something. Yeah, Persona 5 is a thing as well, but I know nothing
Yeah.
about Persona 5. I'll admit that. But I know people really, really like that series. Um, but I know nothing about it. All I know is it's an RPG where you have to interact with a bunch of people and live a normal life, but at the same time, you have to fight monsters with your persona, which is like a little demon or whatever that follows you around and fight. And I think one of them had a fighting game, like almost Street Fighter like kind of thing to it. And then they had another one, Dancing All Night, where it was a dancing game. So they're doing all kind of madness with that franchise, with that IP. But people are
Yeah.
really, really, really looking forward to Persona 5. And that again goes back to what you were saying when you said Sony is the one to watch, because Sony really
Yeah. Yeah.
seems like I'm just sitting there and in talking each time we're saying, oh yeah, they have this and oh yeah, they have that. And
Yeah, I think
it's
they cater for a wider subsection of gamers
yeah,
than Microsoft Studios generally.
yeah,
So and again, so you know of what's coming out, but in a lot of instances, you don't know what it is or what they actually
yeah.
bring to the table. So it would be interesting to see how E3 pans out
But
for Sony.
personally, for me, I don't think they will beat last year. I I don't know when any company will be able to beat what happened last year, because last year again that was just like perfect. Uh,
Again,
what
again.
that was like a what do you want at E3? I went done.
But
You're gonna
but
get it.
but that's a problem though because yeah, done. But when in some
Yeah,
instances, I mean, people will be
but
holding on.
as I said, in terms of determining a winner at E3, it's not about what happens after. It's about what happened on that night. And that night, enough grown men cried like babies. They were
I
so fellas was so happy. Fellas like cried. You saw the guy that was working for game trailers. You didn't see me when they showed Shenmue 3. The man started crying really. I'm like, what? I
everybody say
go,
Shemu.
I go cry for the announcement of a game. Like, okay, if I play a game and the writing is really good and it gets to me and I tear up a little, that's fine. But I am crying for the announcement of a game. Like, seriously, boy, me cry, me get ready.
But
Oh, and I in talking, I remembered another game. Is okay. This is a game that make me cry for an
right,
announcement, but not really because they announced it at PSX and I didn't cry. But this Combat freaking 7. Oh my god.
I'm not sure if I'm so excited for Ace Combat. I think I played Ace Combat on the original Xbox. I think if I
No,
could
360,
remember clearly.
360.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
but
it was completely PlayStation until it was on PlayStation platforms. It was PS1, PS2, and then they created a couple Game Boy Advance games for
yeah,
Game Boy Advance, and then when the PS3 came out, because Sony did so much shit, number one, releasing late, number two, making hard to design for architecture, they went to Microsoft and they released Ace Combat 6 exclusively on the on the 360.
60, yeah.
But then they came later and then they made the Ace Combat Infinity free to play model game exclusively for PS3.
Right.
Call me biased and whatever all you want. Ace Combat belongs on PlayStation. You don't put that anywhere.
All games, as far as I'm concerned, yes, belong to all gamers. Right?
No. But all I'm saying is, from the time they did that thing with Ace Combat 6, the series suffered a little. Like especially on PS2, every Ace Combat that came out on PS2 like had this legendary status to it, especially Ace Combat 4. And I have Ace Combat 4 has a very, very, very special place in my heart. I've beaten that game so many times. The music, more than anything, I don't know. Namco is one of the best studios when it comes to music. If you've played Soul Calibur or what they call it now, Ridge Racer,
No, yeah,
that
I agree.
studio
Yeah,
can crank out some really good music. And
I
Ace
agree. Yeah,
Combat had like one of the best soundtracks I've ever come across. Every song matched the mission perfectly, and I just freaking love that series. But then they went multi-platform with Ace Combat Assault Horizon. I was like, yeah, the stupid gimmicky dogfight mode nonsense. But I'm really happy. Two things: they're going back to PlayStation exclusively. And they say, listen, we're going back to Strange Real, which is the fictional world in Assault Horizon. They went to the real world, trying and make Call of Duty crap did they try and crash on with that one, trust me. But now they're going back to the roots. And I just hope it taps into the old feel.
yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it. I'm
But
a huge
for
Ace
me,
Combat fanboy.
yeah. But for me, my most anticipated reveal or announcement from Sony is hands down The Last of Us 2. I think
Oh,
for
I don't think you'll see that. The fella,
it,
I'll tell you why. The fella's just finished making Uncharted 4, and they haven't even gotten heavy into the DLC based on what they're saying. A lot of people saying Last of Us 2.
yeah, no, but it's not out of reach though. The studio could be split because right now it's just in a lot of instances though DLC is made beforehand and just cut out of the game.
Well, no. The thing is, remember, it's only recently, very, very close to the release of Uncharted
They
4.
decided to do the DLC.
Uncharted, and no, they knew they were going to do the DLC, but the game went gold close to release.
Yeah.
And Neil Druckmann himself said in a very recent interview that they're still trying to figure out what direction they're going to take with the DLC.
Uh,
Now, speaking of the DLC, maybe we'll see the DLC at E3. And
I
even,
don't think that any company would dedicate time to DLC at E3. To me, that would be a waste of time on the show floor.
well, I don't know. But if anything, okay, well, I agree with you there. But if they do show The Last of Us 2, don't expect to see gameplay.
Yeah, no, anything they show, I think, would
Yeah,
be.
again, it will be like they'll just show a video of the spores floating around, and then you'll hear the characters talking, and then you'll just say "Last of Us." Like, the crowd goes wild.
I think everybody. I think that would be the mic drop, the drops mic part for
Yeah.
at E3 for us. So the Last of Us 2 would do that. Yeah.
My
Um, yeah.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the elephant in the room though for Sony is PSVR.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Now me, I in wait and see mode. I'm not
No,
saying
well, you
it's
say
gonna
wait
be
and
good.
see, but
I'm
it
not
has
saying
to be
it's gonna
wait
be
and
bad.
try because I mean you can't even really how do you translate a VR experience to the E3 conference?
Yeah, that's the thing. What they've been relying on so far, and it's kind of been working good for them, is
Mm.
word of mouth. When they bring journalists to the various events, and then the journalists try it out, and then they come out and they write the articles, and they say, "Oh, Riggs is an awesome experience on VR," and they show the videos of the people playing, and then that's really all you can do.
That's the
That's
problem.
really all you can do. And the other thing they're planning on doing is working with GameStop to have kiosks in all the different stores so people can come and try. So from there, like somebody went and tried, and then you go and tell all his partners, "Oh yeah, boy, VR is awesome," and
Now
that's really all they can do.
Now the problem though is, I mean, we're making all those predictions for Sony's E3 conference, and VR is something that Sony is heavily invested into right now. They will show a lot of VR, or they will a lot of Sony's E3 conference will be focused along VR because VR has to be marketed. VR is coming out this year for sure, so a good chunk of that would be VR.
If
Again,
they if they show Ace Combat 7 VR, then I'll be like, yeah, give me more because it's gonna have VR in it. But I'm guessing they'll show off. They might show off Drive Club VR,
yeah,
although
that's
they
what we
shouldn't
spoke
do it.
about.
I wouldn't, but they might show off GT Sport VR as well. All the little things. But what they need to do is stop that little indie developer VR reel.
Now,
I'm not looking at it.
but again, so taking that into consideration that VR is a big thing for Sony, right? You have like 90 minutes. It's a 90-minute conference. Now we can actually have a real conversation as to what will actually be shown. Because if we agree that VR would be a big chunk of what Sony is going to talk about,
I don't think it's going to be a big chunk because even in 2015,
right?
it wasn't a huge chunk. I think what they're going to do, they're going to say, okay, if there's any new games that they have to announce, they'll come, they'll announce them, they'll do a montage trailer to show all the games they mentioned before, and then they'll just say, after the conference, everyone is invited to try VR. Anyway,
Everybody,
that's what I would do. That's what
check.
I. That's how I would do it. I wouldn't take a chunk of time trying to show VR because it has bitten them in the butt before
Yeah,
when
that's the problem. Yeah.
they had the stupid thing that didn't work and all that. But I think Sony is a company. They mess up and then they learn from their mistakes because like remember when there was an E3 when they announced the Powers TV show or the Powers PS Plus show. And then they had the guy, the lead writer or whoever he was, and the man was on stage for like 10 minutes talking about that. And then even Yoshida in an interview after that said, yeah, we went a bit overboard with the powers part. And then
Yeah,
next E3, you didn't see that. So I have a feeling they will not overdo it with the VR. I hope. If they do, I will be the first to see them doing crap there because yeah, I want to see
because
that.
you cannot
Those,
really experience it. It's not something that
yeah,
the audience can actually partake in.
yeah. And you see, now that's the other thing. Okay, like if we have to go console war a little bit,
Hmm.
Sony's output compared to Microsoft, they they're showing that they can do so much more because these guys they have PS3, they have Vita, although Vita not doing so well, but they still have the Japanese market supporting it. And now they're adding VR, and Microsoft just basically has the Xbox One. So even when you take all that into consideration and the fact that, as we said earlier, they try to cater to as wide an audience as possible, it's really like for Microsoft to come back into a position where it was like the free 60 days. And even in the free 60 days, they didn't really dominate because Sony was still able to play a little catch up. They have to completely change the company's philosophy.
But again, though, Microsoft as a company, I don't think is very concerned with Sony. I
No,
think,
no, we're looking at division to division. We are
yeah,
looking at parent company because right now PlayStation is the rejected stone that has now become the cornerstone
the
because
cornerstone, yeah.
I don't know if you know the story, but originally when
It was
Sony,
a toy, pretty much.
yeah, the fellas were like, all right, we'll give you a little money for that, but don't take that thing too serious. And
Yeah,
now it's what's keeping the ship afloat. But
yeah,
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 but
man.
yeah.
But the VR thing, they have rumors circulating that for Scorpio, though, Microsoft going to be working with Oculus to have
Hmm.
Oculus support for Scorpio.
Yeah, so it's like basically a plug and play kind
Plug
of
and play
like,
kind of situation.
so you just boom, boom. And,
But
but
that's an issue.
again,
That's an
the,
issue because I mean Oculus is like what, $600 odd.
yeah, hopefully by then it will be cheaper. I'm
And
pretty sure it will be cheaper by then.
but still for the same reason, Sony is winning the console war. I think that's the very same reason because Sony will win the VR race
Yeah.
because price is price is a factor.
And not only that, the VR games being made for the PSVR is being made with a console in mind.
Yeah,
So it's not like Planet Side 2 on PS4 where I was so hyped for that game on PS4, but the thing is it's a game that is dependent on a keyboard so much.
yeah.
On a controller it's like, I wish I had my even when I would play, I'd be like, I wish I was playing on PC.
But there are
So
the accessories though for PS4 you can use.
well, now the thing is, when you go into that, then you go into a situation of keyboard and mouse versus controller. And
Control.
if the fellas know that going on, the fellas go that has caused problems.
A lot of people flip if that news break. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it has caused problems. But in terms of my
yeah.
wild um, fantasy announcement, Crash Bandicoot,
Hmm? But that I
Crash Crash Bandicoot. That not even because I'm looking forward to the game or anything like that, just to see
Mhm.
the internet break. I would want them to come out and say Crash Bandicoot exclusive to the PS4 coming in 2018. Oh yeah, I was like, what? I would
Hey,
try to I would try to log in on NeoGAF and NeoGAF would break.
I don't know though. If Crash Bandicoot, I expected the crickets.
Never, never, ever. Because remember, the people who go to those conferences are people who have worked
They grew up playing
to,
Crash.
and they're into games on the whole. These are the hardcore kind of people. If you visit sites like NeoGAF, you visit N4G, anytime there's a little hint about Crash, you fellas going crazy. Long threads being created and all kind of thing. If Sony come out and them men say yeah, because even when Sean Layden was at PSX, the last one, and he came with the Crash shirt, when
But I think,
from the
yeah,
time the man come on stage, the crowd was like, oh, like, and then it's like, psych.
I think though they may be trying to ease people into a possible Crash reveal for true because if you look
Yeah.
at Uncharted 4 with the Crash Bandicoot scene. Yeah, so
Hmm.
they're trying to reacquaint people and ease people into the possibility of a crash. I think that's a reasonable expectation.
Yeah,
You
but
to let something about it.
I doubt it though. But the thing is, if Sony does not show Crash, people will be pissed because again, multiple times the fellas come on the stage with Crash T-shirts. Sean Layden did it, and Next Man did it, and then Uncharted having Crash twice
The fella
early
just
on in
trying to
game and at the end.
follow
People will be
footsteps.
pissed. People will be like, it's time. Oh, and another thing,
Yeah.
I was on NeoGAF and one of the insiders, Shinobi,
Right.
the guy who said that Horizon would be delayed, and he's been right about many other things. I know
In the
whom it
past, yeah.
connected to, but he knows his stuff. He more or less confirmed that we're gonna get a knack too.
Oh yeah, I heard. But who the hell is clamoring for Knack too?
I don't know. I don't know. But even on NeoGAF, he said, Mark Cerny gets what Mark Cerny wants.
Seriously though.
But I was like, that too? Like,
And imagine though that might be something that might be in Sony's conference for E3. Knack.
yeah, not too.
Yeah. That'd be a damn shame, eh?
Yeah,
Automatic loss for Sony.
yeah. The worst thing though is if at Sony stage they
Yeah.
come out and say Crash is back, but he's gonna be back
Knack.
in Highlanders. Oh shit! Because is Activision thing not there?
Yeah,
And
that's true.
Activision
It's an
owns the
Activision IP.
yeah, so and they can put Crash in there, and that's actually a rumor that's
Yeah.
being that's been making the rounds. If they do that, they lose. They could have the most amazing conference before that, and then come and make that announcement. Immediately, everybody forgetting everything they said before that. They're like, what the hell?
Yeah, boy. But and again, I've been revisiting all them things. It's so difficult to predict what Sony is actually going to release because they have so many variables for Sony.
I lost all you. I lost all you. You muted. Talk now. Still can't hear you. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. Press the mute button again. Still can't hear you. I don't think it's me. Let me check my audio. Yeah, I have audio.
Control.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you now. I got you
All right. Yeah. So I was saying
now.
that with so much, they have so many variables for Sony and so many parts that we had discussed when it comes to Sony's conference. Sony have the Call of Duty deal. That's a
Yeah.
chunk of Sony's conference.
Oh
We
yeah.
know for the third or
That's
fourth year,
standard.
Destiny
Yep.
will be on stage on Sony's conference.
The iron
The
whatever, iron
Iron
hammer.
Rises or Iron
Yeah.
something,
I don't care.
Rise of Iron or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's two things. So that's three things we know for sure. We have VR, we have Call of Duty, we have Activision with Destiny.
hmm
And that's already a good chunk of Sony's conference. So I mean, what will Sony be showing? It's limited time.
Well, then again, Call of Duty. Didn't the DLC come out already?
The DLC, I'm not sure, but we have the new Call of Duty coming out with Modern Warfare 4
Oh
in
yeah,
the
oh
latter
yeah,
part of the year.
Infinity,
Yeah.
Infinity.
So that will be
That's true.
that will be big at E3 on Sony stage.
And I guess I don't think Activision is having their own
Is having a
conference.
conference. No, so
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah,
all the
that's
more
true.
reason.
Hmm.
Yeah. So all those things to be considered. A lot
Hmm.
of things have to be dropped out.
Unless, unless they. Then again, I was looking at the schedule and I don't remember seeing a standalone for Call of Duty like Battlefield has its standalone.
All right.
But still, in a 90-minute conference, there's more than enough time to at least have surprises. But Sony will not show everything at
No, yeah,
E3.
yeah. And plus they have the dedicated
Yeah,
showing. So
I have a feeling I will not see Ace Combat 7 at E3. They
oh
might
yeah,
even put PSX or TGS or something.
that's that's wishful thinking.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. So I guess that's my Crash Bandicoot is my big dream thing. The other big dream thing is like they come out and they say PS Now
As part
has
of
has a big price cut or it's
you know
part
what
of
I would like to see though, for PlayStation and for Microsoft, I'd like to see PS Now as part of the subscription, even if
mm,
it's a premium subscription which includes PS Now. And
yeah.
for Microsoft, they have the Xbox Music and Xbox Video service that's incorporated into, again, if not at the base price, a premium service where you get
Yeah.
all those features with a subscription in subscription form.
The thing is with PS Now, I think Sony is making good money on it, honestly, because I was looking through the games and even I was like, hey, yeah, I if I was living in America at that price, yeah, I would rent that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I would subscribe at that level. But since I'm living in the Caribbean and there's
Yeah.
the exchange rate is different, I think they're making money on it, but they stand to make so much more if they brought it down to that sweet spot. Because even there was a time when they reduced it to $99 for a year. A lot of people were like, "Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about." And I think a good amount of people jumped on that $99 for a year thing. But yeah, they definitely need to do something with PS now because I don't think it's at its full potential. Number one, number two, them niggas in their pre-E3 show, they need to announce external hard drive support.
Yeah, boy, that's
They they need to announce that because
it's high time.
last time they announced the DLNA in the
Yeah,
pre-E3 show, and that's a difference between Sony and Microsoft. When Microsoft adds something, it's like check this out, yo. When Sony announces something, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, we got DLNA, so you can download that after the show. Enjoy.
uh, I you see, but you have to also look at different angles where the company is coming from. Microsoft is a software, and I still stand by Microsoft as far as the platform and the software end of things is a much better experience than the experience on PS4. Again, that's my opinion, but
Mhm.
I still stand strongly by that. And with the new update that was just released and the merger of the Windows Store, where you will get targeted applications for Xbox One, I'm hearing rumors of things like BitTorrent coming to Xbox and all those things. I'm saying, like, I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more from seriously. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, because and the thing is, even in terms of the service, where Sony will have an advantage. Like, okay, for instance, compared to Microsoft, compared to the Xbox, you have way more streaming options in terms of where you can stream your game to.
yeah.
You have YouTube, you have Twitch, you have Dailymotion, you have Ustream,
I mean,
and
I
so
mean,
even
we,
even when Dailymotion and all that came on, so it was like, oh yeah, oh
but wait,
we
but
didn't
hold on.
tell you.
I will, I will take YouTube, but I'm not sure if anybody is asking to be streaming to Dailymotion.
Well,
Who
yeah,
is asking Sony for those features?
I don't know, but Ustream. definitely, especially early on.
Oh man.
When the consoles just came out, Ustream was a plus for Sony because Twitch has this rule that you cannot Twitch anything unless it's about gaming.
Right.
If you come and you just Twitching any old thing, and then the community reports you, and then they come and they realize that's what you're doing, boom, you ban. But with Ustream, that's how we were able to see all the crap, like the time the man undressed his wife. And so there was a time, I don't know if it's still going on, but sometimes I would be bored and I would just go into live from PlayStation and you'd see all kind of crap happening from the Ustream feeds. And I was just there chilling out, talking about it. There was even a time Curtis wasn't there that time, but I was there watching some fellas taking Bible question. I'm like, what? Doing all kinds of things. But these things, like Sony is just like, oh yeah, oh yeah, we didn't tell you this. Even the thing with the 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 Twitch app reading comments to you. I didn't know
Right.
that. I found out by accident. Microsoft wouldn't take it like that, bruh.
No,
Like,
but
yo,
Microsoft is a software company. That's what it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I still wouldn't see that Microsoft goes out blowing the trumpet about those features. They have dedicated resources for that, but it's not something that you would get, I mean, all over the place. That's what
No,
they pay. That's what they paid Major Nelson for.
no, but that's it exactly. Sony doesn't have anybody like Major Nelson to come and say, we have this and it's awesome and it's really good. No, every time there's an update, there's always this Easter egg. I find when Microsoft puts out an update, their changelog is detailed. They're
Oh yeah,
letting you know every single thing that in the update. When Sony
exactly.
puts out an update, they're like, oh yeah, we have these 10 things, enjoy. And then you mess it. Like, what's that? And some website has to come out with an article and they're like, the secret features in update 3.0 that you don't know about. It's like, I don't know, they've always been doing that thing, but
Or there's a disconnect between the developers and and the
I,
PR.
I don't know if they're feeling like, because in a way it does feel nice, like, ooh, there's this little Easter egg that I didn't know about it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it feels good to discover new things,
Yeah,
and as you say that, so I mean the same thing happens on Microsoft platform also. Although the detail, the key things, I usually find out
yeah.
like playing through the dash find new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then again, we did say we were going to talk about the big three. So
yeah.
Nintendo is the final one. I think we're coming up on 3 hours on this stream. But Nintendo, what I don't know what to say about it, fellas, because I think it was said that
uh,
the new Zelda is not even going to be at
I'm
E3.
not, no, and the speculation is that it was being held back for NX.
And I think, is NX going to be shown at E3?
Nintendo will not be having a booth at E3,
No, I know they won't really have a
and
conference per
and
se, but at least a Nintendo
no,
E3 Direct.
they won't have any E3 presence whatsoever.
Boy,
Yeah,
Nintendo. You think there's any hope for Nintendo? You think they'll be able to come out with some crazy thing like the Wii and
no,
win
I
the
think
hearts of the casuals like they did back then?
I think, boy, right now for Nintendo, it's a lost cause. Seriously, Nintendo struck gold with the Wii, and that's it. There's
Hmm.
no hope for Nintendo to. Lightning will not strike twice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
pretty
thing
much.
is,
Yeah.
they're so stupid.
And with that though, the rumors are that whatever system Nintendo is releasing is either just as powerful as PS4 and Xbox, or just a little more powerful, but
Yeah.
basically within the same region. And that's coming out on the heels of Neo and Scorpio. Nintendo is already dead in the
This
water.
the thing is that them men made so much money from the Wii.
Yeah.
All the fellas had to do was number one, come out with a system as powerful as the PS4 and the Xbox One. Get third party developers back on their side. And it would
Yeah.
have been okay. I mean, Sony wouldn't be dominating the way they are dominating now. It would have
Well, not
shifted the
just that.
balance a bit.
Not just that too. I mean, they also have to get a proper party system, a proper achievement system. I mean, Nintendo has a lot of
let,
work.
let me tell you, once you go into that territory, yeah, it's
Yeah.
over. It's because
It,
Nintendo, they're too Japanese for their own good.
yeah. So that's why I tell you, and especially now where, boy, it's not a situation like before where exclusives were dominating. It has shifted. Now we're getting so many top quality third party releases, and in a lot of cases, better than first party studios. So first party is not even a big deal now like it used to be. And what Nintendo has going for it is okay, we have the best first party exclusives. But I mean, how many people actually play those first party games?
Yeah.
Right now, the highest selling games are third party games, Call of Duty, FIFA. Those two just come up to the top of my head.
GTA 5.
GTA 5,
I
yeah.
know. I understand what's going on with GTA 5. GTA chatted in the last NPD.
Yeah, GTA is still, let me just see if I can pull that up there.
Like,
GTA is still one of the highest selling games on Xbox,
im,
and I
im,
assume the same for PS4 also.
imagine, yeah, well, yeah, definitely. But the thing is, GTA GTA 5 has matched the entire Gran Turismo franchise in sales. Gran
Yeah,
Turismo has 65 million, GTA 5 has 65 million. And
you know,
what the hell going on with that game?
yeah,
But
GTA 5 selling like hot bread.
people can't stop buying that game. And I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Yeah. So yeah,
yeah,
that's
man.
it. That's pretty much it for Nintendo. I don't even know what they're gonna show because if they're gonna come there and not even show Zelda, then what's the point?
No, well, they already said that they have nothing to show, so they not they won't be showing anything at E3. So,
Some crazy times.
yup. Uh,
There's another dream um, announcement that could happen at Sony's conference.
Ryan.
Hideo Kojima comes out and reveals his game. Although that ain't will happen because it's still way too early. But
Yeah,
boy, if that one came out and it's like, yeah, we're doing this and we're doing that, then yeah, that would be cool.
that's a very tall order.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think we can end here at 3 hours because even when we archive this and then we put it up, ain't
Yeah.
nobody gonna want to see this. But what we
Yeah.
can do to make it simpler, I guess we can put
What time?
timestamps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
so
will
people who watch, of course, all our friends at
happen.
758 Gamer Network, you're gonna need to come over to SLU Gamer Hub because apparently our content isn't welcome over there. We're not gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, I
That's
don't get it.
I
So
mean, I just as I posted it, I mean, I saw it and I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. You said that and you were not sure whether you posted it or not. Although
yeah,
you
yeah.
said you may have posted it, but you're not sure. So I went
We,
and I posted it, and I was surprised to see it was basically removed. I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
that don't make no sense.
yeah. Well,
That don't make because then again, I have to put up a video to explain why SLU Gamer Hub is a thing, but it's because of things like this user generated content where it
yeah,
can shine without having to be mixed up in the clutter of everything that else that goes on. But whatever, we're not
just
gonna
with
get
a
into
bureaucracy.
YouTube drama right about now.
Yeah,
That's for
but
another day.
yeah, man. But it was a
Yes.
good discussion. I
Oh,
mean,
definitely.
yeah,
We ran our mouths for 3 hours.
it would
Let's
be
go.
nice if the other fellas could have joined in, but
Yeah.
I suppose next week,
Yeah.
um, or I guess, E3 evening.
Yeah.
More fellas can join in and they
Oh
can,
yes.
chime in as to.
Yes. So let me get into my radio DJ mode. Speaking of A3, Monday night for Sony's conference, you can join SLU Gamer Hub for another hangout like this, where we will be viewing the conference live with you guys, and you'll be experiencing the conference with us and getting our live reactions. Um, Excuse my behavior when Horizon comes up on stage.
When you start crying.
Nah, I would cry. I'll just be hyperventilating and just going through my hyper attack. Yeah, but yeah. Oh, by the way, everybody keep in mind that tomorrow we're gonna finally see some um a good chunk of gameplay for Battlefield 1. They're not
Yeah.
waiting. They're not waiting for the conference to actually start. They're gonna kick it off from tomorrow. I'm not too sure what the time is, but I'll post a link in Gamer Hub to let everybody know when that's happening. Big thank you to Marvin, aka New Hefner, for joining me for this hopefully first of many um, podcast type things like this.
And
Um,
and the one viewer.
the one viewer who might be me. But yeah, we're gonna archive this so everybody who didn't see it will put it up for you. So anyway, have a good night. Enjoy your E3 weekend, your pre E3 weekend, and we'll be seeing you next time on the Gamer Hub. Good
All
night.
right. Peace.